welcome back to Mansi's Mindspace. Today we will be revising essay 210, agreeing with terms of engagement. Now we know that in this essay we have total 3 topics to cover up in broad areas. The first would be about the objective of essay 210. Then we will have preconditions. There are 3 preconditions that we need to discuss, and we also will see that what are those preconditions, and then how we are going to be how as an auditor we are going to verify whether they are present or not. What if they are not present, how to establish. So these are going to be certain points we will look up at essay 210. Then we will have the third area which will talk about audit engagement terms. Audit engagement terms are going to have 5 subtopics in it. The first subtopic that will deal it is that what would be into the terms, that is what is contained in audit engagement letter which is given to entity from the side of the firm. Firm is your partnership firm of the auditor's firm, and the letter that has been given at the time of appointment to the entity to confirm that we are agreed, we have agreed that we are going to be joining, we will be continuing, we have accepted the offer, that is to do the audit of the financial statement. Second thing that would be there is reason for request of change the terms. Now what if now we have accepted with certain terms, what if in the future they asked us to revise or maybe change the engagement while we are doing it? So what can be the reason? There are just 3 reasons that we need to go through. Then third would be when reasonable assurance exists or not. That is, what if reasonable assurance do not exist, or if it exists, should we accept the terms or not, accept the change of the terms or not? Because it's a very fundamental question that we need to look upon, that whether the change by the auditor should be accepted or not. So on the what basis we will decide whether the change should be accepted or not? It will depend on the assurance that we are going to be getting from that if we are reasonably assured that change is required, this is fundamental, this is obvious, that is justified, then only will agree to the change, otherwise will not agree to a change. So therefore we'll see when reasonable assurance exists or not. Then fourth point would be about consideration before agreeing to change to engagement, providing lower level of assurance. And then the fifth subtopic that we'll look up would be about recourse available of non-engagement to change. So these are going to be the topics that we are going to be covering. So these are the broad topics: objective, preconditions, audit engagement terms, and then we will have certain subtopics that would be the part of your these subtopics. So that is a broad area, because we are revising, we are not discussing in deep what essay 210 is all about. So we just got the idea about what are going to be the topics that we have to discuss. Now let's directly move on to one by one all the points. So the first point is about objective. Now what would be the objective of essay 210? So one thing is very clear, that we have to, in this essay, have to either agree or we have to continue with the client relationship, and because of that we have terms of engagement. So first objective would be about accept or continue an audit engagement only when. So when you are going to accept or continue an audit engagement, basis upon which audit is to be performed has been agreed through establishing whether preconditions are present. This PC means what? Whether preconditions are present. So first thing we are going to be establishing kya preconditions present hai ya nahi. So first objective would be establishing whether preconditions are present, and then we will have the second objective, which would be about confirming there is common understanding between auditor and management. So these are going to be the 2 objectives. Now when we are clear with these 2 objectives, or to that whether we have to accept or continue an audit engagement, then we are going to be looking at how to establish whether preconditions are present and how to confirm that there is common understanding between auditor and management. So firstly, the most important area of essay 210, that how to establish whether preconditions are present or not. So how would the auditor do that? So auditor shall first determine whether FRF is acceptable, and secondly he will obtain agreement that management acknowledge and understand its responsibility. Now this is one area where I just want to, because we are revising obviously, so I just want to relate it with the other points as well. So you will see at various places management responsibility are going to be addressed. Like let's just take the very simple example in essay 700, when we talk about the contents of the audit report. If you remember, over those content, one of the content is management responsibility over there also. So there also we'll talk about management responsibility. So then if you will see here, what we are saying in essay 210, that the management should acknowledge that they have to prepare financial statement, they have to establish proper internal controls to ensure that financial statement are free from material misstatement, they need to provide auditor with the access to all information, additional information requested by auditor, access to persons within the entity. So these are those responsibilities which are with respect to auditor का acceptance or continuance of client relationship. ठीक है, auditor के respect में management का responsibility क्या है? This is what has been stated under essay 210. When it comes to your essay 700, and there the content used to talk about management responsibility, there we simply talk about. So in essay 700 we would have management responsibility there with different we'll talk about different responsibility that management has, and that would be in respect to your audit and not with respect to the auditor. Now this was about essay 210. So in essay 210, how you will establish that whether preconditions are present. Firstly, you will determine whether FRF is acceptable, and secondly, you will obtain agreement that management acknowledge and understand its responsibility. So these are the keywords that I've written over the screen, and they're very important. If your answer does not contain these keywords like acknowledge, understand, responsibility, FRF is acceptable, you won't get any marks. Then into the responsibility, you need to know there are 3 responsibilities. First is preparation of financial statement, internal control management को लगाना है, and then auditor को provide करना है to all information that management is aware plus relevant to financial statement, and then additional information which is requested by the auditor Then thirdly, unrestricted access to persons within entity. Now within entity and to persons only, that is not to machines, not of mechanisms, not of computer system, also within the entity. So outside people, you need to take the permission, and there can be limitation that management can impose. But as soon as or as far as your employees are concerned, or any member, any person which is a part of the organization, you can access to that person at any time, at any manner, at any ways. So that is what management has to provide auditor with. Then there is going to be the second objective, which was about confirming common understanding between auditor and management. Now how we will establish, or how we will confirm that there is common understanding between auditor and management? Through audit engagement letter. So through audit engagement letter, we will confirm whether auditor and the management has common understanding. So this letter will include 5 points, and they are very, very, very important. First point would be about objective and scope of audit. Second is responsibilities of auditor, responsibilities of management, identification of applicable financial reporting framework, and fifth is reference to audit report, which is expected. You will give just the content. Also, you need to state a statement that in certain circumstances the auditor report can be modified. Also, you need to add this statement. I think into your material you have one test your understanding question based upon this reference to audit report. So these are going to be the matters that would be included in audit engagement letter. Now what if the preconditions are not present? So if preconditions are not present, you will discuss with management, and if it is not acceptable, and if FRF is unacceptable, or auditor or agreement not obtained as to responsibility, then you should not accept. So when you will not accept the engagement, when FRF is unacceptable and your agreement not obtained as to responsibility, so you have not obtained the agreement as to responsibility of management, that it acknowledge and understand its responsibility. So this was about the first part. Now the third part would be about change in the terms of engagement, and this is the most important part, because here we'll talk about how many areas? 5 points. First is about the reason. Now what can be the reason when the firm asks, or when the entity asks to change in the terms of engagement? So first it could be changes in circumstance affecting need of service, misunderstanding as to nature of audit, and thirdly restriction on scope of audit engagement. So these three can be the reason due to which we need to change the terms of engagement. Circumstances may change, misunderstanding as to nature of audit, restriction on scope of audit engagement. Now, when we will say that these reasons are reasonable, and if these reasons are reasonable, then only auditor will agree to accept the change in the terms of engagement. And if the reason to change the terms of engagement is not reasonable, then into that case he will not change the terms. So auditor has to see whether the reasons are reasonable or not. So in case the reason is change in circumstances due to which we need to change the terms, then that's reasonable. Misunderstanding as to nature of audit, it's reasonable. Restriction on scope of audit engagement can be reasonable, but we need to consider the implication of restriction. This is very, very important area. So restriction on scope of audit engagement can be considered reasonable, but we need to consider the implications of restriction first. Then when we will say that the change is unreasonable, so we'll say the change in the terms is unreasonable when the change relates to information which is incomplete, incorrect, and unsatisfactory. So if the terms are going to be with respect to the information which is incomplete, incorrect, and unsatisfactory, we are going to be saying it's unreasonable, will not change the terms. Then change to avoid qualified opinion or disclaimer of opinion, then into that case again we'll say yeah, it's unreasonable, will not change the terms. Now what do we consider? So firstly we'll determine reasonable justification for doing so. As we have just discussed, if the reason is that change in the circumstances or there is misunderstanding, it is considered to be reasonable. So consideration, we will first see whether reasonable justification hai ya nahi. Secondly, we'll assess any legal or contractual implication of change. Then thirdly, work and report to be issued would be those appropriate to revised engagement. Fourth, report on related service not include. Now this is important, this can be asked, this consideration area, very, very important. So what do we consider before saying, like, if it's reasonable, we have decided we'll change the terms, then just keep this thing into mind, that work in report that you will issue would be those that is appropriate to revised engagement. Report on related service will not include original audit engagement, any procedure performed in original audit engagement. Then last is recourse of non-agreement, that is if unable to agree and management not permit to continue original audit engagement, then auditor shall either withdraw or determine obligation to report whom they will report: TCWG, other parties, owners, regulators. So they will report to all of them. So this is a recourse in case of non-agreement to the change in the terms of engagement. Now also remember, there are two other topics that we have in SA 210, which is recurring audit, which we will deal when we'll discuss SA 510, initial audit engagement. Before that, recurring audit means what? Recurring audit means when over the period of years, like previous year and this year, same auditor is doing the audit, we'll say it is a recurring audit. In case of limitation on scope prior to acceptance, this is important. Limitation scope prior to acceptance, which will be discussing with SA 705, because there also the management used to put the limitation, but that limitation is after the acceptance. Here we will talk about prior to acceptance, but we'll discuss with respect to SA 705 only. So this was all about SA 210. I hope you got to the points. You have revised it properly. It's important, especially change in the terms of engagement. Very, very important area. Do not forget to like and subscribe.